Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We are so happy to welcome our good friend Jill Taylor from Pregnancy Choices. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for being here. You always have so many things going on. But I'll tell you what, Jill, the reason I brought you here today is because whenever I mention Pregnancy Choices has free services where everything is free, for some reason people are not able to grasp that concept or don't believe it or really, or I didn't know that. And I'm having a heck of a time getting that word out there. So you're here to verify, yes, all services at Pregnancy Choices are free.
I'm going to verify Susie tells the truth. That's what I want everybody to know.
Thank you.
You know, we opened our doors with that important strength of ours that we would not ever charge our clients. And one of the big reasons is because if you are counseling them on their options, we do not want to ever see them benefiting, that we're benefiting from that contact with them. So if we were to say, we'd like to talk to you a little bit about adoption, that's a wonderful option for you. We wouldn't want them to say, well, you must be getting a kickback for the adoption, or, you know, you must know somebody that, no, we do not have any service that we do that requires them to pay us. Even some people have tried to get us to consider taking insurance money, because that doesn't matter, but it does. It still comes out of someone's pocket. And we want to serve you through the incredible, gracious gift that God has given us to provide for that. It is also a primary concern of CareNet, which is the affiliation that we are with. They do not want us charging for anything. So we abide by that. We've never run short of funds. Even when we came close, people always bailed us out with kind gifts.
Who is CareNet, since you brought them up?
Yeah, CareNet is an umbrella organization for centers across the United States. There's another wonderful one in Heartbeat, which is locally in Ohio, actually, and it's an international organization. We're affiliates of both, members of both, but affiliates of CareNet. So CareNet is a rather evangelical organization that talks a lot about giving the gospel as part of what it is that we serve with. And so it's an opportunity for us to share a little bit about who God is in their lives and how fearfully and wonderfully that little baby is being woven together, and God says is a beautiful gift.
When we're talking about these free services, what services are we talking about?
Well, Susie, we do so many things. It's really hard to go around the whole thing. But we do, of course, the education piece. We have always done that since we opened our doors, an education piece in high schools and now junior highs. We also do a piece that goes into the colleges. I don't believe we're doing it this year because we had a key person move to a different ministry, a wonderful ministry, and we're missing her. But until we get the right person back in place, we can't offer that again. But so a wonderful education piece. We also educate our clients with Bridges and all sorts of classes that help them be better parents and be better prepared. We do a wonderful Vital program, which also prepares them that first year of life to anticipate what they're going to need to know when that baby is born. And we celebrate that with a shower for them in the second year of life as they know everything they need to know about keeping that baby safe and protected, and safe sleep and proper car seat information. And that we end that second year with a birthday party for the baby when they turn neat. 1. So those are the kinds of services. But for our bread and butter tool that we have always used with our clients is just counseling, just a peer counselor, a person who's been trained through our excellent 22-hour program that they go through, but not a professional counselor necessarily, although many of them are in their other job, not their volunteer work, a professional. But most of our counselors go into the counseling room to just hear the heart of the client and to understand where they're coming from, what their fears are, what their concerns are. And then we share all of their choices. We talk about all of their choices, even the choice that they have to abort that child. We talk about that from a biblical worldview, and we talk about all of the ramifications of making each choice, that each one is going to be a difficult choice. Each one is going to be a choice that you will have issues to deal with, but the reality is only one ends with no baby.
Yeah.
The other two end with a child that lives on that you can reconnect with really through adoption almost any time you wish, now that adoption is so open. And in terms of parenting yourself or having your family parent, then you're probably going to be connected with that child most of their lives.
So you're really talking to people. You basically can boil it down to 3 different choices. You can abort the pregnancy, abort the baby. You can place the baby for adoption in a loving family, or you can parent the baby in your own loving family.
And really, in those choices, there's two different ways to do that, at least 3 different ways to parent in your own family. There are some grandparents who are raising children within the sound of our voice.
More and more.
More and more. And some of them I met this last weekend a great-grandparent helping to raise their great-granddaughter.
Really?
Yeah. And then the other thing is there's an option between single parenting and marriage.
Yes.
So we get the gift of talking to people about, yes, the cart has gone before the horse, but if this is a relationship that you care about, is it worth looking into marriage and bringing solidarity and commitment to this relationship so that there's a security for your child as they grow up? This is a really important piece.
So when you're talking about education, it's true you're taking the education into the schools through the Sold Out program, which I'd love to go more into that. That's an amazing program.
It is.
But you're also talking about parenting classes. You get the moms by themselves, you get the dads by themselves, you get them together during, like as moms and dads together in parenting classes. And you have childbirth classes as well,
yes,
correct?
Free childbirth classes.
And then what I'm hearing now is you talk to moms and dads who might not be married yet, but considering marriage and talking to them about marriage classes as well. Yes?
Yes.
What don't you do? This is amazing. Every time I hear it, I'm blown away.
Okay, what we don't do, and I always wanted to do, this is a top secret, so don't tell anybody except all of our listeners today.
Okay, all right.
I've always wanted to have a wedding at our site. In the fall or in the summer or spring when it's really nice, we have a little arbor. You could put a beautifully decorated little arch there and have a couple
beautiful.
get married, and then have the reception in our lower level. We have a beautiful large room. We could serve cake and coffee and tea. And wouldn't that be sweet to have one of our couples get married on our site that has come through the whole program and realized what a value marriage is? So we had 2 pastors, James, who is the pastor up at Citizen, and both of these from North Canton Chapel. That's a plant from North Canton Chapel. And then Ryan, the lead pastor at North Canton Chapel, both came and did a wonderful talk on marriage. It was so incredibly good. And all of our couples that could be there were there and listening, and it was just so sweet.
That's really encouraging, isn't it? Marriage is not completely outdated, is it?
It's not outdated. It's so statistically healthy for the children.
Yes.
So much, they do so much better. They thrive when they know they have, it doesn't matter if your parents who argue, everybody argues, but then even teaching them, I've got a really sweet quote if you have time for it. I don't know how short we are, but
Go ahead.
We interviewed a young gal for our annual report, and when we got through to the point of all the things, what did you really enjoy about pregnancy choices and the ministry that's been here for you? And she said, I just have to tell you, I've learned so much, and my fiance has learned so much. She said, we've learned that if you're really angry, you don't have to stay in the room. You can step out of the room and get your composure and come back in.
They didn't know that before.
No. Well, they just normally went to fighting.
Wow.
Just normally went to fighting,
Right,
which I
yeah.
think so many people do. And she said, we've learned that if you step out, and then she said casually, and it meant so much when the counselor would pray with us at the end. We'd never heard anybody pray like that. And
Wow.
we realized you can pray to ask for things, God to be there for you, to take care of this problem that you're having. I just I
Wow.
am smiling from ear to ear. I'm so, so excited when you get that kind of recognition from clients, and they've set their date to get married.
That's so
So it's like
exciting.
100%. We've got a little baby here that's born, and they've got 2 parents that are going to raise it that child together, and we've got a whole system for the next 2 years that they can go through and get earn while you learn money, and we'll help them with diapers and help them with formula and all those things.
I just love what you're saying, because it is a matter of modeling, and sometimes some of us have not had that modeled for us. How to fight fair, and how to be, the fact it's okay for children to watch grown-ups work through a problem together, where it's not me against you or you against me. It's us against that problem.
Right.
And to model that makes for a pretty good passing along how to do it in their own marriages when they grow up and
Correct.
they're
Exactly.
facing problems.
A huge thing that we need to really understand, most of our clients. And honestly, I would say most young people getting married now don't really understand how complex that relationship's going to be in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years.
Sure.
And so to be in for the longevity, to be in for the commitment of a lifetime, which is so important to your kids, is to always, to always understand there's a fair way to fight. And if you have to walk away, I remember one time I walked away in a Walmart store or something. And I said, I'm gone for the night. I'll figure a way to get home, take my car. And, he said, I'm leaving your car. And I said, okay, fine. Thank you. And I spent the night away. And that's okay. It's okay, because then when we come back together, I'm not irrational. I'm not bringing about 1,000 things. I'm back to the focus of what it was that really upset me at that point.
Oh,
So-
right. And to not bring up things from 10 years ago, but let's work on
Right.
this problem together.
Yeah.
But, boy, we did not think we were going to go this direction,
No,
but I
was
just
gonna-
celebrated
I was
an
gonna be so
anniversary.
happy. I said that to everybody who's driving. Call
Okay.
him right now and
Just-
offer your sympathies
just
for being married to
between
me.
us. But for children who don't see that modeled, they get married, they face their first problem, and mom and dad never showed them how to work things out in front of them, or all of they've seen is screaming and yelling.
Yes,
so they
exactly.
don't have anything to go by.
And many of them haven't seen mom and dad.
Oh,
Period.
my goodness.
They haven't seen mom and dad together as
That's
a couple.
true.
They've seen them fighting, arguing over various things, and that's really difficult.
You're going to have a lot of people want to sign up for these courses, I think. Is anybody able
Well,
to?
I'll tell you what, as we form this marriage class down the road here, I'd love if there are people in the listening audience who feel that they would love to offer volunteering in that area. We'd love you to go through the volunteer training, which comes up in February. I can't give the exact date, but I think it starts around the 13th. We'd love to have you sign up and get involved with us. And then as we, step into this new class, have people who have modeled marriage and can do it well come alongside of us. I'd love to have some panels of discussion where these young couples can ask anything they want. And we are totally honest with, that's difficult. Wow, that was a hard one for us. Wow. Let me tell you how much better it gets.
Yes, yes. And I always hope. It always ends on such a hopeful note. While we're talking about services and free services, we would be remiss if we didn't mention medical services.
Absolutely. I didn't even get to that one. We do 2 free clinics a week. Right now, we do one in Maslin and on the what we call the Ave on 22nd Street off of Whipple. And we're hoping to do one up in the Arlington site very soon. We're getting that room already up there where there's a clinic room and an ultrasound room. So, and of course, we do ultrasound at all 4 of our locations right now. Just really
so
exciting.
free ultrasound,
Free.
pregnancy tests,
Right.
free testing for STDs, STIs.
Yes. Free.
My goodness.
All the labs are free. And then a free 45-minute consult with a nurse, an RN, who will go over those results with you and kind of talk about, hey, do you want to see us again in 2 months, or do you want to, let's talk, what are your alternatives here? Can we talk about a different lifestyle? And that's so important. Again, so many women think they don't have a choice on this. If they want the boyfriend to hang around, you've got to be sexually involved with him. Or if you want that one night stand thing to leave feeling good about you, you've got to be there sexually as well. No, you don't.
Right.
You do not. And just getting a whole new image of themselves to understand how fearfully and wonderfully they are made as women, and how beautifully God sees them as the bride, and let's get that back into their picture.
Oh, yes. And to feel cherished.
To feel cherished.
Yes.
Yeah.
You started rattling off locations there. where all are you located?
We are in Massillon on Tremont, right next to the YMCA. We are, as the one I mentioned to the main, right there on 22nd Street by the Regency. We are on Cleveland Avenue, right across from the post office. And we are on Arlington Road, in Akron, Green, whatever you want to call it. We're right there across from the Home Depot.
Perfect. All right. We do have to take a short break. We'll be
Shoot.
back with Jill
I hate
Taylor.
when that happens.
I know, but we do have to hear from important people right now. We'll be back with Jill after these words. You're listening to Our Community.